My husband took care of his first love throughout her entire pregnancy. When I was burning up with fever, he used his phone to look up solutions for her severe morning sickness. On the anniversary of my mother's death, he prayed outside her delivery room, let them be safe. That day, his first love survived. The one who went mad was him. Ethan reeked of alcohol when he carelessly kissed me. Blushing, I shielded my belly and tried to pull away. He noticed, roughly pulling me into his arms while hoarsely demanding, "Why are you avoiding me?" I bit my lip and whispered, "Turn off the light first." Only his bedside lamp illuminated the room, its glow falling across the prenatal test result I deliberately placed there. I wanted to tell him about the pregnancy tonight, but his buzzing phone captured his attention first. Normally he'd decline calls immediately, but now his hand hovered frozen above my test results. The caller ID flashed 2 words: Emily. Emily, Ethan's first love. His arms slackened around me. I need to take this. The door clicked shut. I stared blankly at the ceiling. He'd never hidden phone calls from me before. Emily was always the exception. When he returned reeking of cigarettes much later, I turned my face away as he tried to kiss me. His lips grazed my cheek. "You're acting strange tonight." He frowned before changing clothes. "Emergency case. Don't wait up." As the owner of a law firm, Ethan never took urgent cases. Before leaving, he suddenly leaned close. "Can you still smell smoke?" My breath hitched. He muttered, "They say pregnant women can't stand the smell," then ruffled my hair. "Why am I telling you? You're not pregnant." The door slammed. I stared at the untouched test results. If not me, then who? Later, I understood. The pregnant one was Emily. After Ethan left, I called my best friend Sophia. "I need to tell you something." "3 things first." She interrupted. "Emily's divorced. Emily's back. Emily's pregnant." Like stones shattering still water. The ripples spread endlessly. After 30 silent seconds, I said, "I see. What did you want to tell me?" Suddenly craving dumplings. I lied. The words dissolved on my tongue. I've loved Ethan since high school. Through college. Until this moment when the lamp still glows on my untouched secret. We kept in touch sporadically. During our senior year, Ethan suddenly showed up at our farewell gathering. He kept drinking all night. Eyes bloodshot. Never speaking a word. I ended up taking the completely wasted Ethan home. Though heavily intoxicated, he remained coherent. "Lily?" He slurred. "Ethan. It's me," he said. "Let's give this a try." At that moment, I thought my years of secret affection had finally blossomed into something real. Only later did I realize that day marked a special anniversary. Ethan told me not to wait up. True to his word, I didn't see him all night. Instead, I received a Facebook friend request from Emily. I accepted, but she didn't message me. Instead, she posted a full-length mirror selfie with the caption, "Grateful for the late-night help settling into my new place. Fresh start. New chapter for us." Her hand rested on her slightly rounded belly in the photo. What stung more was the male forearm reflected in the mirror, wearing the wristwatch I'd given Ethan for our first wedding anniversary. I checked the time, 12:43 a.m. While I'd been preparing to share news about our growing family, Ethan was helping his first love decorate her new home. The irony wasn't lost on me. When I'd first graduated, struggling to find affordable housing myself, Ethan and I had just started dating. Too shy to ask for help, I'd moved everything alone to a sketchy tenement. One night, a drunkard pounded on my door relentlessly. Terrified, I called Ethan. Hearing his voice broke my composure completely. I sobbed uncontrollably. Though he was 2 hours away on business, Ethan filed a police report and drove through the night to reach me. The next morning, He scolded me through clenched teeth for choosing such unsafe housing before finding me a secure apartment in a better neighborhood, even covering the first year's rent himself. When I tearfully promised repayment, he yanked me into a bear hug. "Lily," he growled, "I'm your damn boyfriend." I'd believed that level of care was reserved for serious relationships. Now Emily's calculated social media post demanded response. I obliged with a like. Ethan never came home that night. By morning, I found his text, "Didn't want to disturb you coming in late. Heading straight to the law firm today. I'll pick you up for dinner after work." My thumbs hovered over the keyboard. I wanted to ask about Emily. About where he'd really been. To announce his impending fatherhood. But stubborn pride prevailed. These revelations should come from him first. "Okay," I replied. As quitting time approached, Sophia called wanting IKEA shopping companionship. "Ethan's picking me up for dinner." I declined, clinging to the feeble hope this meant he wasn't rushing back to Emily. The phone barely left my ear before Ethan's call came through. "Sorry, Lily," his professional voice apologized. "Client dinner came up. Rain check on our plans?" I lowered my gaze and nodded. Accompanying Sophia to IKEA, I wandered off while she shopped for a children's desk for her niece. Rounding a corner, I froze at the sight of Ethan holding slippers before Emily. "But Ethan, these ruin my outfit," Emily pouted, leaning against a display shelf. My fingers dug into my palm as I watched Ethan kneel to remove her stilettos. "Pregnant women shouldn't wear heels all day," he murmured, his hand steady on her ankle. Emily's protest died into giggles as she allowed the footwear change. "You'll make such a wonderful father," she sighed, resting her hand on her barely visible bump. The word sliced through me, the same phrase I'd whispered against Ethan's collarbone when he'd surprised me with nursery blueprints after weeks of secret sketching. "Lily?" Emily's delighted chatter cut through my memories. She surged forward with alarming speed, Ethan's protective arm instantly encircling her waist. "Careful," he warned, his gaze never lifting to meet mine. The citrus-scented air conditioning choked me as Emily grasped my wrist. I willed Ethan to show any flicker of remorse, any trace of the man who'd once stayed up till dawn helping me rehearse workplace confrontation scripts. His calm detachment as I wrestled free from Emily's grip proved more devastating than anger. When Emily stumbled dramatically at my withdrawal, Ethan's glare burned hotter than the humiliation flushing my neck. "Lily," his voice carried winter frost. "She's carrying a child." The accusation hung between us like shattered glass. I remembered standing in the same store years ago, trembling as Ethan coached me through breathing exercises after my first corporate betrayal. Now his protective instincts shielded another woman's tears rather than mine. "Congratulations," I managed through numb lips, the words tasting of ashes. "My mistake." Turning away, I focused on the geometric patterns blurring beneath my shoes until reaching bathroom stalls. The metallic tang of blood startled me. Crescent moons indented both palms. In the speckled mirror, a ghost stared back, her smudged eyeliner creating Rorschach blots of grief. How many times had Ethan tenderly wiped away similar streaks after workplace injustices? The memory of his thumbs brushing my cheekbones now felt like salt rubbed in fresh wounds. At 24, I'd perfected the art of swallowing tears during boardroom ambushes. Only Ethan could dismantle my defenses with a single concerned glance. Now that weaponized kindness nurtured different tears, leaving me stranded in emotional no man's land. I sniffled and rambled incoherently about the bidding documents. Ethan listened patiently, finally wiping my tears away. "Stop crying," he said. "You'll never be wronged under my watch." Later, news broke about that company's tax evasion. The small-scale enterprise collapsed completely after the investigation. When I heard the news, I froze, only then realizing it was Ethan and his law firm's doing. Remembering this, tears escaped despite myself. It wasn't embarrassment over the current situation. I simply couldn't comprehend how people could break promises so effortlessly. The man who vowed to protect me now stood before me, Seeing my tears, genuine panic flashed in Ethan's eyes. He released Emily's hand, reaching for me. Lily. I stepped back, hiding my hands behind me. Don't touch me. His hand hung frozen midair. Emily glanced at me, pressing his empty hand down. Lily. I'm currently Ethan's client for my divorce case. Since I needed furniture for my new place, I asked his help. If this makes you uncomfortable, we'll stop here. Ethan. Take Lily home. Explain properly without losing your temper. She walked away briskly, the picture of graceful composure. How clever the vulnerable party earns sympathy, while the clingy one becomes the nuisance. At home, Ethan shoved his phone at me. Emily's just a client. I don't even have her contact info. There's nothing between us. Exhausted, I ignored both the device and him. The anger came from him instead. After my silent treatment all evening, he finally snapped, yanking me from the blankets. Lily. How long will you keep this up? Emily left immediately to spare your feelings today, a pregnant woman humoring you. Tell me. What more do you want? My body burned with fever, dizziness swirling. Yet I nearly laughed. Now I'd become the unreasonable one. Emily was pregnant? What about me? The prenatal checkup results still lay blatantly on the nightstand. As a lawyer, Ethan noticed everything, replacing wilted flowers before I even registered their decay. Yet this document within arm's reach remained invisible. I could say it outright. Ethan. I'm pregnant. Then what? Watch whether he'd choose me over Emily. Pretend her significance didn't exist? My pregnancy changed nothing now. Certain realizations crystallized. Ethan. I don't want to discuss this. I need rest. But the composed attorney, sometimes stubborn as a child, insisted. We settle this now. I sighed and took his hand, placing it on my forehead. Ethan. I think I have a fever. Ethan froze for a moment before springing up to search the first aid kit. Why didn't you say something sooner? He pressed a cooling patch against my brow and handed me oral medication. My fingers brushed my abdomen as I lowered my gaze. I hate bitter medicine. Could you find me some candy? When he left for the convenience store, I flushed the pills down the toilet. Later, I calmly ate the sweets he brought, the sugar coating my tongue like lies. Whether it was my fever-induced vulnerability awakening his protective instincts or my earlier tears triggering guilt, Ethan became unusually tender that night. He maintained a vigil by my bed, refreshing the warm water hourly, checking my temperature every 30 minutes, constantly re-wetting the compress. His actions whispered affection, yet didn't prevent him from typing how to deal with severe morning sickness on his glowing phone while tending to me. Earlier, he'd taken a call in the hallway, the kind of privacy only reserved for Emily. When he returned, I expected him to leave. Instead, he adjusted my cooling patch and resumed his seat. I turned with questioning eyes. What's wrong? He countered. I shook my head, feigning sleep. But my heightened senses tracked everything: the amber bedroom light, the harsh phone glare against my closed eyelids. Peeking, I saw him compiling pregnancy advice into texts. Ethan frowny face: avoid medication during pregnancy, could harm the baby. Ordered express delivery of oranges. Try them. Visit the clinic if it persists. Emily's reply came instantly: frowny face, I'm scared to go alone. Come with me? Ethan frowny face, Lily's sick. Can't leave. Emily frowny face, of course. Take care of her. I'll manage. She played her part perfectly, the understanding other woman who tugs heartstrings through strategic retreat. Predictably, Ethan crumbled frowny face, if you're still unwell tomorrow, I'll take you. Emily frowny face, don't overexert yourself caring for others. As his phone dimmed, Ethan pulled me into an embrace, murmuring against my hair, get better soon. Lily. I wondered, was this concern for me? Or clearance to comfort Emily guilt-free tomorrow? The fever broke by morning. Ethan slept exhausted while I cooked congee, enough for 3. After we ate, he eyed the leftovers. Taking some to the firm? I nodded, ladling extra portions into containers. I found Ethan a thermos with a Buzz Lightyear sticker on it. Before leaving, he instinctively leaned in to kiss my forehead. I flinched back slightly, then realizing how abrupt that looked. I quickly reached up to adjust his tie before he could grow suspicious. He ultimately said nothing, just pressed his palm to my forehead. The fever's gone. Still feeling unwell? Much better. Ethan left for work. I'd taken the day off to schedule a prenatal appointment. During the cab ride to the hospital, I scrolled through social media. Emily had posted morning porridge/heart emoji alongside a photo of the Buzz Lightyear thermos. I liked the post and commented, "Was it good?" I made it. An odd premonition struck me. Upon arriving at the hospital, I suddenly lost the will to check in. Instead, I sat quietly in the lobby. About 30 minutes later, Ethan and Emily walked in together. She was smiling as she spoke, his head tilted attentively toward her with that gentle expression I knew so well. I tried remembering if Ethan had ever listened to me with that same tenderness. The answer was yes. Though normally reserved at work, I'd often chatter nonstop to him at home like spilled marbles. He'd set aside his laptop every time, handing me warm water after my rambling monologues. But clearly, I wasn't special in this regard. Emily could easily occupy that space too. They entered the elevator without noticing me. A pregnant woman asked for assistance with her checkup. After momentary hesitation, I accompanied her to obstetrics. Through the sea of expectant couples, I spotted Ethan again. He and Emily looked perfectly natural among the prenatal crowd, their striking appearances making them stand out like movie stars. Their baby will be gorgeous. My companion sighed. I kept silent, watching Ethan until he suddenly looked up. Our eyes met across the bustling room. All ambient noise seemed to vanish. Panic flashed across his face as he strode toward me. Second time. Ethan. This time, I smiled first. He reached for my hand instinctively, relaxing only when I didn't pull away. Emily came to the firm to submit divorce case materials. She mentioned abdominal discomfort. So I know. My smile remained polished. Emily approached, her gaze lingering on our joined hands before addressing me. Lily. I insisted Ethan accompany me. Please don't be upset. He already explained. Our eyes locked in calm challenge. Her lips curved. Delicious. Was it? Absolutely. Emily's attack came without pretense, a dagger straight through the heart. I clenched my fists, maintaining a calm expression. Not now. Lily. Wait a little longer. Ethan had bought groceries home. He rarely cooked. But today he was unusually attentive, bringing flowers, lighting candles. In the dim romantic glow, he kissed my forehead and promised, "Emily and I are just friends. If it upsets you, I'll cut ties after helping with her divorce case." I asked, "Ethan, if Emily had returned on our wedding day, would you still have married me?" His silence spoke volumes. When he finally gathered words, I pressed a finger to his lips. "Remember your promise, Ethan." Oath-breakers get what's coming. Ethan spent increasingly more time with me, yet Emily remained wedged between us. Since our confrontation, he'd stopped referring to her as anonymous clients but openly used Emily, as if transparency about their meetings could sanitize their relationship. Whenever he mentioned seeing Emily, I'd casually request small errands, apples from the market, wonton soup, a magazine. This dance continued for weeks. One afternoon, as Ethan left for work discussions with Emily, I deliberately didn't give my usual request. He returned minutes later, hovering at the doorway. "Nothing needed today?" At my headshake. He persisted. Are you sure? I smiled faintly. Actually, we're out of soy sauce. He kissed my forehead like a rewarded child, departing with visible relief. 2 days before Ethan's birthday, traditionally celebrated twice. First with his law firm colleagues, then privately with me, I decided to crash the office party. Emily's latest social media post had tipped my hand, a heart-shaped cream cake decorated with high school uniformed figures resembling her and Ethan. Caption this year. Every year. Let's see how she planned to make every year happen. The Clark & Associates office glowed with festive lights when I arrived late. Yogurt cup in hand. Colleagues clustered around the cake as Emily stood beside Ethan. Her laughter crystalline. Timing, as they say, is everything. At that moment, Ethan stood shoulder to shoulder with Emily in front of the grill. Emily, visibly uncomfortable from standing with her large belly, winced and complained to Ethan while rubbing her lower back. Ethan murmured something in response, making her pout and shake her head like a petulant girlfriend. He began massaging her waist with practiced ease. The chilled yogurt container grew slippery in my clenched fist. Lily? Why aren't you joining them? Ryan, Ethan's law partner, appeared beside me. Though I rarely visited the firm, everyone recognized me as Mrs. Clark. I forced a smile. In a minute, Ryan's confusion cleared when he followed my gaze. Holy shit, he wheeled around to stare at me before bellowing. Lily's here. 2 heads snapped toward us. Ethan recoiled from Emily like she'd burned him, crossing the patio in 3 long strides. His arms locked around me possessively. Lily, I swear nothing's happening between us. 3rd time this month. Ethan. I swallowed metallic bitterness, pushing a yogurt cup against his chest. Thought you might need this before drinking. His stormy eyes searched my face as I maintained my placid smile. For your stomach. Though I seemed to have interrupted something important. Never. His grip tightened on my wrist as he dragged me toward another grill station, deliberately turning his back on Emily. Your presence always makes things better. Emily approached with cracked composure. Lily! What a surprise. Just dropping off Ethan's yogurt. I extracted myself from my husband's grasp. Leaving now. I'll drive you. Ethan reached for his keys. You'd abandon me here? Emily's polished facade slipped, revealing raw panic. Ryan will take you home. Ethan didn't glance back as he guided me away. The following days brought absurd domesticity, Ethan rushing home by noon, drowning me in designer handbags, obsessively scrubbing already clean countertops. When I remained impassive, his kisses turned desperate. Why aren't you angry? He demanded after one particularly frantic embrace. About your birthday incident with Emily? I blinked innocently. You told me to trust you. He raked fingers through disheveled hair. This isn't how you should react. Where's the fire? The tears? The ultimatums? I finished softly. You transferred her case to Ryan. Cut all contact. What more is there to say? His confession came weeks later during midnight lovemaking. I've blocked her number. He murmured against my palm. Never seeing her again. The lie shattered when Emily ambushed me during 9th-month nausea. After 2 declined lunch invitations, she appeared at my office reception desk during closing time. My receptionist called as I emerged from the restroom. There's a Ms. Taylor here to see you. I knew it was Emily Taylor, but I didn't rush out. Fresh from dry heaving in the restroom, my face was deathly pale, my entire being radiating frailty with zero presence. I touched up my makeup before sitting down with Emily at the tea house below our office building. Her opening line, "You're clever." I kept my expression neutral. Every time Ethan and I meet, you make him bring you something. It's intentional, isn't it? That way. Even when he's with me, part of his mind stays tethered to you. I'd always known Emily would figure it out eventually. Her comprehension didn't frighten me. She poured tea, her movements graceful. Thank you for keeping Ethan company these past months, helping him through that dark period. But now that I'm back, he doesn't need you anymore. Nausea surged. I clenched my jaw against it. May 16th was the anniversary of when my ex-husband and I officially started dating. That's why Ethan spent that day with you, to provoke me. The queasiness morphed into stabbing cramps. Cold sweat beaded along my hairline as I locked my molars together. December 3rd was our wedding license date. The very next day, he immediately posted your marriage certificate online. Again, to spite me. My teeth broke through lip skin, copper flooding my mouth as stomach spasms bent me double. Lily. Emily's gaze dripped faux compassion. I hate to be cruel, but you should know, every moment Ethan shared with you existed solely in relation to me. Had I never left, there'd have been no vacancy for you to fill. I bolted for the restroom. Empty stomach offered nothing to expel, but the convulsions left me trembling in a stall corner, fingernails carving half-moons into my palms. Why? How dare they? When the storm passed, I reapplied the emergency lipstick from my purse, color restoring my facade. Everything all right? You were gone ages. Emily's concern was impeccably performative. Tummy trouble. My apologies. Shall I continue? Her smile was scalpel sharp. It felt like my sternum had been replaced by a grenade. I dug fingernails into the table's underside. Is this position so coveted? If I vacate it, yours becomes the empty seat, the one reserved for endless yearning. Emily's composure flickered. With me, Ethan's life is complete. There's no room for. You don't get to claim permanence. My laugh shattered the tension. We parted with poisoned pleasantries. Home alone. I gutted the memory cabinet. Gifts marking every anniversary, his cufflinks. My pendant. The embarrassingly earnest love notes, met scissors and bare-handed violence. The shredded pregnancy test fluttered down last. Its plus sign now bisected. Destruction brought no relief. If anything, the fury burned hotter, acid eroding every rational thought until I slumped amidst the ruins, choking on the realization that even in annihilation, I remained collateral to their twisted romance. There was no outlet, no release. The nausea hit me suddenly, and I rushed to the bathroom. I retched until only bile remained. Ethan returned, his hand rubbing comforting circles on my back as he asked, "You okay?" The restless irritation kept swelling inside me like an overinflated balloon. In one violent motion, I shoved him to the floor, scissors pressed against his throat. "Ethan, just die." His eyes held that endless tenderness as he whispered, "If it makes you feel better." Every damn time, he looked at me like I was his entire world. And every damn time, I knew he looked at others the same way. The clarity hit like ice water. Soon. But not yet. Ethan carried me to bed. Staring at the ceiling, fragmented memories played behind my eyelids. "Ethan," I said suddenly, "stay with me these next few days. Just us." I created a checklist, mundane couple activities interspersed with entries about our imaginary child. He agreed without hesitation. First task, evening milk ritual. He brought warm milk to our bedroom as usual. After he turned off the lights, I reappeared holding infant formula and a bottle. His confusion made my lips twitch. "You wanted a baby. Shouldn't you learn to make bottles?" His initial attempts were disastrous, wrong water ratios, scalding temperatures. Yet he grew strangely obsessed, perfecting the technique until he joked about testing his masterpiece on random neighborhood kids. First checkmark inked. Second task, kitchen duty. While prepping dinner ingredients, I set aside miniature portions. For the baby's solids, I explained. Panicked Googling ensued. Soon he was crafting gourmet purees, quinoa with roasted squash, mango strawberry medleys, arranging them like Michelin-starred meals. Second checkmark. Third task, baby-proofing. I sent him shopping for playpens during his lunch break. He video called from the store, interrogating sales staff about non-toxic materials with courtroom intensity. By 10 p.m., our living room had transformed foam mats, pastel safety gates, plush toys arranged just so. Our little one's kingdom, he declared, arms wrapping around me from behind. Third checkmark. Fourth task, preschool tours. He returned with brochures for elite bilingual programs, finally settling on one costing $40,000 per semester. The admissions director's eyes widened when Ethan passionately argued our future child's need for Mandarin immersion. The checklist grew shorter. Ethan's enthusiasm burned brighter, his briefcase now filled with parenting books. He installed car seats we didn't own, memorized lullabies in 2 languages. Each checkmark felt like turning a screw, tightening some invisible mechanism. Soon, the spring would snap. I said it was too expensive. Ethan replied, "It's okay. Our child shouldn't fall behind from the start." Later he went to look at children's backpacks himself, buying 4 each of boys' and girls' styles. Not knowing whether we'd have a son or daughter, he got several of both to rotate. I smiled and agreed, neatly arranging the backpacks in the nursery. I checked off the 4th item on our list. 5th task, Ethan visited elementary schools. 6th, he toured middle schools. 7th, we discussed extracurricular classes: chess and taekwondo for a boy, piano and ballet for a girl. The next day Ethan reconsidered. These should just be suggestions. We need to respect our child's own interests. I checked off the 7th item. 8th, 9th, 10th, 16th. This wasn't an action item but a question. I asked, "Ethan, if we have a daughter, what kind of man would you want her to marry?" He answered immediately, "She never has to marry." When I silently stared, he relented. "Someone who loves her completely, cherishes her, accepts her fully, and never lets her suffer hardship or injustice." What if he still has feelings for someone else? Divorce. I'll personally handle the litigation to ruin him financially. What if she's pregnant? No discussion, terminate. That's responsible for her and the potential child. Termination and divorce would be the proper course. I nodded approval. You're right. Ethan lifted me up. Lily, when will our child come? He seemed so eager for our family, so determined to build our home together. Yet, he wanted everything. All possibilities. All options. As Ethan slept beside me, his phone lit up. Frowny face. Ethan. My due date's in a week. I need you there. Another unread message confirmed his luxury postpartum retreat reservation. His purchase history showed complete maternity kits and newborn supplies. His search history revealed how to care for new mothers, postpartum recovery essentials, recognizing postpartum depression, selecting reliable maternity nurses. While immersed in preparing for fatherhood, he'd simultaneously arranged everything for Emily's delivery. 1 man, 2 names. How many lives was he trying to lead? The phone smashed against the wall, its screen shattering into a spiderweb pattern. Ethan jolted awake, instinctively wrapping his arms around me. What happened? Nightmare. I mistook your phone for the centipede biting me in my dream. My fingers trembled against his sleep-warm skin. I'm sorry about your phone. He ignored the broken device, pulling me closer. Sleep. I'm here. I closed my eyes, relieved. Every item on the list had been checked off. Soon, these memories would become razor-sharp blades. Ethan grew increasingly preoccupied in the following weeks, claiming caseloads at the law firm had multiplied. I stopped asking. He'd stumble home past midnight, only to leave again during thunderous storms after urgent phone calls. Each time his car tires crunched over gravel, I'd rise to pack my belongings. Emily's social media post appeared during this limbo passenger seat selfie without caption. I recognized Ethan's Mercedes instantly. We'd chosen that car together years ago, back when I'd playfully acted spoiled about reserving the front seat. Though he'd never verbally agreed, the passenger seat had never been adjusted by anyone else until now. My scheduled surgery coincided with Emily's due date. On the eve of the procedure, my mother's death anniversary, I bought chrysanthemums and drove uphill alone. Ethan had forgotten, too consumed with Emily's early labor at the maternity ward. Mom. I traced the weathered headstone. Ethan won't be coming this year. Or ever again. The mountain breeze carried my shaky exhale. Don't worry about me. I'll buy that big house we always dreamed of. Live well. Dusk painted the cemetery gold when I descended. The empty mansion greeted me with echoing silence. Sophia arrived within 20 minutes, eyeing my packed boxes. Care to explain why I'm hauling these at midnight? Ethan's at the hospital with Emily. I hoisted the last suitcase. Let's run. As the moving van disappeared down the driveway, I glanced back. Abandoning 8 years felt surprisingly light. The click of the lock echoed finality. Across town, Ethan frowned at the maternity ward's sterile walls. An inexplicable dread coiled in his chest. Like forgetting anniversary flowers or something more vital. He patted empty pockets. Where was his phone? The delivery room door swung open before he could check his car. The nurse informed Ethan it was a daughter, and both mother and child were healthy. Ethan temporarily abandoned his search for the missing phone to complete hospital formalities and attend to Emily. When Emily awoke gazing at their newborn, she suggested he name the infant. His mind involuntarily drifted to Lily. What if he and Lily had a child? He'd undoubtedly master fatherhood, already rehearsed diaper changes and even scouted middle schools. He'd unquestionably nurture their imaginary child flawlessly. A smile tugged Ethan's lips as he blurted, Chin-Yin, nickname Tuan-Chuan. Emily's weakened laugh carried through the delivery room. Lovely name. She'll adore it. Ethan's brow furrowed. Emily. You misunderstand. That's the name I reserved for mine and Lily's future child. The heart monitor beeped louder as Emily stiffened. Your child, Ethan, are you in love with Lily? He didn't deflect. When you first returned, I was conflicted about my feelings. But recently, his expression softened, recalling phantom midnight feedings. Visualizing Lily's pregnancy test in my hands. Preparing imaginary formula bottles, that's when clarity struck. What I feel for you is nostalgia. Resentment. Regret, but not love. Tears tracked Emily's pallid cheeks. Then what am I? What does these months of caregiving mean? Consider it misguided compensation. Ethan's shoulders lifted. Years of emotional weight dissolving. I'm sorry for the pain. But contact me anytime you need assistance. Urgency propelled him through hospital corridors. His fingers trembled dialing Lily's number. The number you have reached is unavailable. The number you have reached. Unavailable. Tires screeched outside their brownstone. The nursery remained intact, pastel mobiles swaying above an empty crib. But her vanilla-scented shampoo no longer lingered in the bathroom. Her flannel robe missing from the hook. Frantically, Ethan yanked open the memory chest. Shattered photo frames glittered among shredded theater tickets and a bisected sonogram, their decade-long love story reduced to debris. Lily's vow echoed, if these mementos disappear, so do I from your life. His knees buckled against hardwood floors. Clutching the fractured ultrasound image, Ethan's world imploded. The calendar notification glared accusingly from his shattered phone screen, yesterday's reminder, Lily's mom's death anniversary. How could he have forgotten? How could she make him remember? Lily was pregnant? The date on the prenatal report was 3 months ago, right when Emily had returned. For those 3 months, Ethan had remained completely oblivious. His pupils dilated violently. No, he hadn't been oblivious. She'd given him countless hints. Lily had constantly made excuses to avoid intimacy. She'd suffered morning sickness so severe it left her retching over the sink. She'd started favoring loose-fitting sweaters. She'd suddenly asked him to role-play as a father. If only he'd paid closer attention. If only Emily's reappearance hadn't shattered his composure. Lily had known everything. Her quiet anger hadn't been absence, just disappointment accumulating like snowfall. He knew better than anyone how stubborn she could be. He needed to find her, beg forgiveness, declare his love. But she'd vanished. We met again 3 months after my abortion. I knew he'd been searching relentlessly. But I'd hidden too well. This time, I initiated contact to discuss divorce papers. Ethan looked haggard, his stubble untrimmed, dress shirt wrinkled beyond recognition. His first question rasped out, "Is the baby?" I held his gaze until comprehension dawned. Bloodshot eyes welled as he unzipped his backpack, spilling out infant supplies. New bottles, onesies for the first month, 3 months, 7, silver bracelet, longevity lock. Enough. Ethan. He kept unpacking, voice breaking. Lily, his arms reached for me. I stepped back. His hands fell limp. These months, searching, missing you, I was wrong to visit Emily when you... I don't want to hear it. I cut him off, pulling out a divorce agreement. Sign. He stared at the papers, babbling hysterically. The nursery's intact, had to replace the moldy playmat. Not sure if you'll like the new color, come see. Sign. Ethan. Never. He shredded the document. I produced a box of copies. How many can you destroy? You think I haven't suffered? Staring at baby clothes every night? This punishment, it's torture. Isn't this penance enough? Forgive you? My laugh cracked. You pursued me because Emily dated others. Married me because she wed another. The moment she returned, you became her ghost. And you beg forgiveness? His face blanched. You know. I loved you 3 years. Your love blooms now? I shoved the papers forward. Sign. Don't humiliate yourself further. He scrawled his name with trembling hands. Defiance burning through tears. Lily. I won't give up on you. I signed those divorce papers to end the unfairness of our previous relationship. I'll court you properly this time. Prove my sincerity through actions. Ethan possessed an obsessive streak that had fueled his law firm's success, though he'd always maintained precise control over it. Until now. He shadowed me daily like a persistent specter. During work hours he maintained professional distance. But the moment I paused, he'd unzip his backpack with the eagerness of a child showing holiday treasures. Formula bottles. Homemade baby food pouches. Tiny outfits spanning newborn to toddler sizes. Initially I ignored these pathetic displays, assuming he'd eventually tire himself out. But 2 weeks later, finding him waiting outside my yoga studio with a hand-knitted baby blanket, I snapped. Ethan. Your self-flagellation through nostalgia is your business. I hissed, clutching my gym bag until the straps bit my palms. But dragging me into this delusional theater? You want to know what I feel when remembering our past? His Adam's apple bobbed violently. Disgust. Why should I care about your epiphany? Your redemption arc? You think persistent groveling erases 7 years of humiliation? I stepped closer, smelling the bergamot cologne he'd worn since law school. Here's your answer. I'd rather adopt feral raccoons than raise a child with you. Take your performative guilt elsewhere. The color drained from his face like sand through an hourglass. He didn't follow me after that. 3 weeks later, Emily's call came. Happy now? Ethan's obsessed with your phantom pregnancy. He's turned his penthouse into a goddamn nursery for that imaginary brat. Funny. I replied, watching rain streak my office windows. I recall you orchestrating our divorce. Shouldn't you be enjoying your hard-won prize? Her breath hitched. You planned this. Letting him believe you were pregnant when you left. letting that fantasy fester until I ended the call. Her subsequent video messages showed Ethan cradling a doll, murmuring names we'd once debated over wine. Claire for his mother, Rosie for mine. I blocked Emily's number. The police summons came a month later. Ms. Evans, your acquaintance brought a doll to Bright Horizons preschool demanding kindergarten enrollment. The officer eyed Ethan's slumped form in the waiting area. We recommend psychiatric evaluation. He insists you're the emergency contact. Ethan sprang up when he saw me. Eyes fever bright. Lily! Rosie needs the Montessori program. Her language window is closing. He extended the porcelain doll. Its painted smile chipped. I took it. Dropped it. The crack of ceramic skull meeting linoleum echoed through the precinct. Even if you die here today, I said calmly, I'll order champagne, not flowers. His broken whisper followed me into the parking lot. Would that make you forgive me? I didn't turn. The last I heard through Sophia's gossip network, Emily's divorce settlement imploded when paternity tests revealed her husband's baby actually belonged to their tennis instructor. Karma's a meticulous bookkeeper. Now I'm being sued by my ex-husband for various compensation claims, completely dragged through the mud. Later, I received another call from Emily. Her voice trembled with tears. Lily, Ethan's condition is critical right now. If you have any conscience left, come see him. I stayed silent. Conscience? I'd fed mine to the dogs during those 3 years long ago.